Hello and namaste. I'm Radula Das. I'm a coach, executive coach, transactional analysis practitioner, leadership development expert, and a learning and development strategist. Sounds a lot of terms. Well, we need to put some terms in order to kind of create a halo around people. So I'll take the word halo and start from there. All of us, or at least most of us, have heard of the major uh, pair, the most successful combination, which is Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Lord Krishna and Arjuna are seen as the most powerful, successful, and effective pair that who went through a journey of various types in various situations and came out successfully. Now let's talk about Arjuna. What is the feature? What is the most important aspect of Arjuna? Arjuna was a talented person. Okay, he was the greatest archer. He was the greatest warrior, and that was his, in corporate terms, technical skills. Right? He was best at it. If he was so great and he knew his technical skills, nobody could, kind of defeat him, then what was Krishna doing in Mahabharata, in the Mahabharata Yuddha? Why was Krishna there? Krishna is not needed because Arjun has all the technical skills needed, right? He's the best archer. He's the best warrior. He has fought so many kings, so many warriors, whether they belong to the, to the human world, the divine world, or the so-called quote unquote the Asura world. Then what was Krishna doing? Why was Krishna needed? Why did Arjun actually walk up to, go to Krishna, seek his audience, sat at his feet, and asked for his support? This is exactly what we want to talk about today. So, Arjuna, whether it is Arjuna, whether it is Bhima, whether it is all the five brothers, Yudhishthira and the other two brothers, which is Nakula and Sahadev, all of them had their own competencies, their own skills. They were experts in a particular field, right? Bhima was an expert in, was a great Yodha, right? He had Gada or the mace, which was his, Gada was his major weapon, and so on, the other three brothers. But when it came to this larger war, which they had to fight against the Kauravas, they had to fight with not just against the Kauravas, but with so many other warriors who were known as Mahayodhas, and they had the need to create an army of their own and get people to support them and come together to fight this war of good and evil. Very, very, very stark when I say good and evil, but looks like that, right? They were fighting for their rights. They were fighting for getting what they wanted and what they thought was theirs. Okay? They needed Krishna. Who was Krishna? Most often, what do we know about Krishna? Krishna is this playful Leela man, right? When I say Leela man, the man who does all the Leelas. Krishna was this boy who was, so playful, without any responsibility, playing with the cows, playing with the cowherds and the girls, and so on and so forth. We know this much about Krishna. But do we know that Krishna is the key feature, the key person in this whole game or Leela that they were playing? Because Krishna is the strategist. Krishna knew how to deal, who to deal with, and when to deal with the person. How to deal with the person, who to deal with when required in a situation, and when to deal with who. This was what Krishna knew. And this is the strategy that Krishna gave to the Pandavas. This is strategy. Okay? How much ever technical skills we have, how many ever certifications we have, how many ever degrees we have in our field of profession, whichever profession, field or profession, we still require to understand the strategy that is needed in a particular situation with a particular set of people in order to, gain, in order to work, in order to achieve, in order to succeed, prosper, all these things, right? This is strategy. The other aspect is leadership. If you notice, if we go back to the Indic stories, Indic Puranas or Indic, I'm just going to go back to Mahabharata again, we will find that every king who is quote unquote a leader because he has a crown on his head, right? So the king always has an advisor, has a mentor, has a guru who supports the king and helps the king lead the kingdom and the people effectively. This is leadership. Why do we need leadership and strategy is the question. Most often what happens is we spend 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of our life preparing ourselves, honing a particular area of expertise. Wonderful. It is needed because this is the core requirement. But once we move out of this area of studying, learning, building oneself, one is then put in the into the arena of the world, the corporate world, the business world, the world of money making, the world of working with people, the world of understanding oneself, understanding others, and making a success of any kind of business, right? And I'll stick to the term business because whatever we do, however lofty our idea, end of the day, it is a business. It has a vision, it has a mission, it has certain goals to be achieved. And in order to achieve those goals, what is needed? A certain set of skills, a certain set of people, resources, and definitely a strategy, right? Because if we want to make, let us say, all the roads of this country, a country called India, which is, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from the west to the east, whether we call it from this end, Rajasthan or Punjab to the northeast. Then we will definitely get engineers, architects, okay, we will get masons or mistris, we will get the ground level people who will help in moving the raw material, all this we get. But how or who is going to lead these people? How is it going to be converted into roads? All this is available, raw material is available, work is available, people are available, sanctions are given, all right, all is done. But then what? How are we going to lead? How are we going to deal with the situations that crop up? How are we going to start a project in this large project? And how are we going to see that it moves smoothly and gets done smoothly? This is leadership, and this is the requirement. Today, we said romanticizing leadership and strategies. So what is romantic? What is romance? Romance is a series of adventures where we explore new thoughts, new ideas. We go to unknown places. We travel into places where humans have never been before. And we go through certain adventures. We experience adventures, create adventures. That is romance, right? So is it possible that this term, these two very, very prosaic terms, leadership and strategy, can be turned into a romance? And if it can be turned into a romance, is it possible for us to play the game of romance? Yes, it is possible. And if it is possible, how is it going to impact us? That's most important, because everywhere we ask, see, when Arjuna goes actually to Lord Krishna and sits at his feet, waiting for Lord Krishna to wake up, What is Arjuna thinking? Is he thinking that I'm going to attain bliss and attain nirvana? No. He is thinking, if Krishna is on my side, what's in it for me? How am I going to gain from it? He is thinking, if Krishna supports me in the Mahabharata Yuddha of these 18 days, of this huge war that is going to happen, how will I gain from this? The same applies to all of us, isn't it? If we are looking at, so for example, let me talk about myself. Okay, I spent close to 15, 18 years, almost 18 to 19 years in my core area of work, which is English literature and language. And all through that journey, at every point, I felt, okay, what I didn't know last year, with this milestone, I know a little more. I know a lot more. I can do a series of laundry list, checklist. And every point of time, I felt, wow, I have done so much. I know so much. But when I moved out of this space into a space where I was interacting with learners, I was interacting with people, then I realized no two learners are the same. No two people I'm working with are the same. I cannot use the same way of, or the same style, the same way of dealing with a person to more than one person, which means I cannot treat each one of them the same way. I have to learn how to treat each of them differently so that they all feel equally treated. They all feel that they were given equal opportunity, equal rights, equal duties, and therefore equal rewards. That's when I realized strategy is needed. That's when I realized leadership is needed. And that is when I reached out to coaches who were experts in leadership, who actually taught me, coached me, and mentored me how to handle people. Because that's my area. Okay, I handle people. And then when I was talking to them, when I was learning from them, definitely I was not learning because I'm a tabula rasa, an empty slate, and I was getting all this new extra information I wanted to store for future. I was learning something and immediately practicing it. So that was my gain, right? That's what I got. That's what I got as a leader from my mentors, who were themselves master leaders, who were themselves master coaches or master mentors. That is leadership. You might, or everybody might ask, leadership is something we are born with. You know, for example, this whole story of Bharata, Shakuntala's son, Shakuntala and Dushyant's son. When Dushyant comes to the jungle or the forest, he sees this small little boy who is opening the mouth of a lion cub and saying, keep your mouth open. I want to count the number of teeth you have. Nobody taught Bharat bravery. Nobody taught this little boy Bharat that how he can deal with a carnivorous animal, which is the lion cub. That is what he was born with. This is something which we can say inborn quality. But it's not necessary that you have to always be born with all the knowledge about leadership, all the knowledge about strategies. No, it can be cultivated. It can be learned. It can be practiced. And with every practice, a new learning emerges. And that is precisely why all of us, in whichever field we are, whether we are a student leader, whether we are a professional leader, we are a teacher leader, whether we are an academic leader or a political leader, whichever leader we are, we need to understand what is our platform, what is our arena, who are the people I'm working with, what are the trigger points of these people, how do we deal with these people? Meaning, how can we work with these people to collaborate and share each other's skills and share each other's competencies to create a larger reality, to be able to provide support to be able to design products, to be able to sell products and services, to be able to support and provide for people. So this is what I would like to suggest as a major requirement. So when people say that, so I've been in this field for almost 25 odd years as a facilitator, as a leadership developer, or leadership development coach and facilitator. I've been working with people for so many years, using various tools, techniques, philosophies, and models of people handling. I've realized that the key things that are needed, two key things that are needed, is leadership and strategy. And in order to keep these two together, what is needed is the ability, and it always starts with self, right? Everything starts from within. And therefore, the first step in wanting to and moving to a role of being a leader, and that to an effective leader, is to be able to look inwards and understand oneself. That's the first step. When I understand myself, I become aware of the need to understand others. When I become aware of the need to understand others, I learn the different strategies, the different methods of understanding others. If I understand others through various techniques, which we will be talking about in this whole series, today is just the beginning. Today is our day one of, discussing leadership and strategies and seeing where it takes us. When I realize the need to understand others, I will pick up, I will learn, I'll study the different methods, tools, philosophies, and ways of understanding. And what about others? What is it that we need to understand? We need to understand people from where they come, what has made them what they are, how they feel, what are their emotions, what makes them happy and makes them unhappy, and how to motivate and inspire. If this is what we want to do, whether it is in the personal or the professional space, then we need to delve deeper into this whole vast universe of studying leadership and strategy. This is for today. This is going to be the tenet. This is going to be the string that we will keep on beading, that is putting beads one by one on this string through this series. Thank you very much.